Hey, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Taking Flight. It's Megan, and I must say that I have been very much accused often of being a passionate person. Dun, dun, dun. If you're in my world, I don't know that that's super surprising to anybody. I am super passionate about a lot in life, but it brought me to kind of this conversation of, what does that mean? What does that mean for us? Because so often we hear, oh, that person's so passionate, or they have a passion for their career or a passion for this hobby. And I think it can leave people feeling a little kind of lackluster or lost if they don't feel that same thing. And so I'm bringing to the table the idea that passion produces passion. Let's unpack that together, because I think it's one of those things where we're in the driver's seat of a lot in our lives, even when we're looking around like, where is the adult in the room? Where's the person that has the exciting energy, right? We're always outsourcing so that it doesn't come down to us being the factor of something being or feeling or seeming a certain way. So when we think of the idea of passion, and I really want this to kind of sit into the hearts of people who maybe are feeling burnt out or overwhelmed, or that their passion for something, someone, a time in their life is gone or fizzled, and remind you that you are in the driver's seat. Passion produces passion. And what I truly feel, because I've been burnt out multiple times over my career and the shifts in my career, and so all different areas of myself and what I was doing has fizzled. I have found that, I didn't feel as passionate. And usually when I look back at those times, even the most recent ones, it's because I'm expecting kind of the same results over and over again just by showing up. But the thing is, if passion produces passion, right? P plus P equals what we're kind of seeking, we're looking for this magical, mystical feeling in life. And also, quick side note, that everything doesn't have to feel passionate and so fun and exciting, right? We have the right to also feel like this kind of doesn't feel in line right now, or this day or moment or project sucks and it's not quite what I want to be doing, but it's a means to an end. But we don't want to stay there long term, or, just it be a constant space, because then we really are going to get to a very rough level, let's say, of burnout. And that's not good for anybody. And this doesn't really have to only go with career and job and all that. It goes in anything in life that we might be feeling overwhelmed, burnt out, frustrated in. But if we're not feeling passionate about something, especially when we had this excitement and ignite, what's the word? I don't even know. We're going to change the word. And excitement, and just drawn to this thing in our lives, in our job, all of it, and we don't see it anymore. What happened? What has happened to it? Where did it go? How do we find it? It's within us to bring the kind of burning sensation back, if you will. And we all love that feeling of like a toasty fire, kind of makes us feel alive and kind of cozy within ourselves. How do we bring that to the table? Well, one, I think it's getting kind of real with ourselves. Like, why don't I feel this way right now? Why do I feel like I'm on autopilot in my relationship and that I'm living with a roommate right now? Not a significant other, not a best friend, not somebody who I really want to spend time with. I'm just on autopilot. Well, if that's the case, then we really need to take into consideration, have we just allowed autopilot to take over? There's a switch on autopilot, just like cruise on the car, all these things, right, that we can turn off. And so it's taking a ignited step to doing something differently, right? So changing up your routine, or asking different questions, or going somewhere new and changing up kind of where you've been for the last however long this has felt this way. And it's so easy because we go on autopilot in life because it gets us day by day by day when there's so many things to juggle, so many hats that are spinning up in the air, all of these things. And so we must take a moment to kind of analyze. And so if it's a relationship or it's, the work that you're doing in this world, or it's motherhood or anything that's popping up for you, asking those questions and saying, what have I done to kind of allow it to get here? And then reverse engineering, how do we get feeling good? And it's not going to look like it did before. Just a quick little side moment. It's not going to look like it did 10 months ago, 10 years ago. It's going to look different, but you can feel ignited by it. You can feel passionate about it again. You can feel a new sense of excitement for that person, that thing, that project, all of it. But again, it's asking those questions and then taking steps. And I think nothing here on this podcast is ever mind-blowing rocket science. It's gentle reminders that we have got to come together to talk about these things on the regular as often as we possibly can in order to see different sides of things. And so this is no different. I think it's really important, to me at least, to kind of take a quick scope of life from time to time. And so if we're asking those questions, we're making changes and being, I guess, really strong in our conviction and what we want in it, especially if it involves other people, if it involves another person, if it involves a team of people, if it's at our job or our business. We're not the only person in this mix of how things can feel and operate and all of that. It's having honest conversations. Who do you need to have an honest conversation with right now for some reason? Because you're not feeling quite heard or, in alignment with it or them or that thing you're doing together, whatever. Who do you need to have that conversation with? Oof, I'm going to give you a moment on that one. Because more times than not, if I ask myself that question, there's at least something or someone that I could kind of go, ooh, I do need to get quiet with that for a second. I do need to think about how I want to communicate how I'm really feeling deep down. And if passion produces passion, communication creates communication. And if we are just allowing just everything to just kind of, well, eventually it'll change, or maybe it'll feel different next time, or, I'm just in a hard season. And then that season turns into another season and another season and another season. And for us here in the Midwest, we got 4 seasons. And if you keep on just moving through, another year has gone by, another 2 years have gone by, and we are still feeling the same way. So who do you need to have a communication situation with and sit down and express yourself and say, you know what, I really can see where we could have better, whatever it is, or more fun, or I miss doing, these things with you. Can we find a way to ignite that in a new, fresh way, right? And so I know it's so hard. There's been times when I know that I've had to start a conversation with somebody because maybe I'm feeling distant or feeling, like we're not quite on the same page. And it's like, oh, you start typing it or talking to text and then you delete. You're like, no, never mind. Or you just don't send it, or you keep waiting to send it and you're like, oh, because it's just, what if they take it the wrong way? Or what if it doesn't feel right? And what if the thing that I'm excited about, they're not excited about anymore? But wouldn't you want the answer to that versus just wondering and waiting and like the agony of just being stuck in this kind of lackluster space? Same thing with our business or our career, right? If you work with a team of people or you have, bosses and all these things that maybe you're just feeling bogged down by or misunderstood or not in alignment with, they're not going to know that unless you express it. And maybe you have expressed it, but in ways that aren't kind of forward moving or in their language. So how do we bring that back? How do we show them that fire is burning within us and we're excited and looking for something different at this current moment? So having those conversations. And I do feel that when we sense a fizzle, within ourselves about something, right? About something you used to love to do, about something that, is income producing, about it could be as, teeny tiny speck in your life, or it can be something that's truly like what you are known for in this world. I truly feel that when there's a fizzle, there's something that we need to listen to within there too. So aside from communicating better and asking those questions and kind of making choices based on kind of what you really want out of it, we also have to take a little insight with ourselves and kind of go, what has something changed within me? I'm trying really hard not to just go into a song from Wicked right now. Anyways, you don't want that because I don't have the most eloquent singing voice, but okay. If you've seen Wicked, that's a little piece of a lyric in there. Anyways, I digress. But has something changed within me that maybe I need to listen to? Maybe it's a nudge. Maybe I don't feel passionate about this anymore because there's some different version that's kind of festering underneath, right? It's bubbling up. It's doing something kind of cool, but I'm too busy being on autopilot and I'm too wrapped up in what it should look like that I am not taking notes. Yeah. And so this happens to me all the time. I have shapeshifted a lot in my life and my career and all the things because I'll be like, wait, did you hear that wind? It's a little bit different, right? The winds of change are here and I'm listening. I want to understand what that means for me. And so you can do that too. But oftentimes we don't do it because we are scared of what that means. Will we lose that person? Will we have to change, the way that we operate within this community? Will I be doing something completely different? We don't really like that as humans, do we? We don't like thinking that something's going to look, feel, sound, smell, taste different. None of it. We don't want any of it. I know me, I'm like a rut eater. Sometimes I get stuck on hyper focused on a meal. For a while, it was lunch. I was having just a salad. It was just like romaine lettuce and chicken and honey mustard salad dressing. Nothing fancy. Promise you that. But I was so stuck on it. I was craving it. I just really wanted it. And, you get stuck on repeat. We do that in everything. That was non-monumental and it was not affecting my life in any major way at the moment, but it can. These things can. And especially when it comes to relationships and our career and honestly just our self-love and our self-worth, those can really be, or feel at least, make or break. And so if we are just kind of butting heads against listening to something, like where's our passion taking us? Where is it taking us? And if it feels like, oh, it's going over here, what does that look like? I don't know. I'm not too sure. And I don't really know if I want to test it out, or I don't know. What is that going to look like? We don't know. We didn't know a lot of things when we started them out, what it was going to look like on the other side. I think back, okay, I went to college. I didn't know what it was going to look like on the other side. And even when I thought I did, joke's on me, I've went in 800 different directions since then. And it's the directions in which I've been meant to go. Been listening to those winds of change. I've been following my passion, following the voice inside of me that's still small, and sometimes I say screaming voice as well inside me, and I move with it. So if we're being honest with ourselves, you get into something, you get into a marriage, you get into a job, you get into anything in life, and you think it might feel, look, and be a certain way. And most of the time, you're right in certain veins and not so much in other veins. But when we're not looking at it and we're just kind of letting it move as it does, it's not so big. It's not such a big idea, right? But when we are taking the time to listen and, more importantly, act on where our mind and our energy and kind of the excitement for life is taking us, then it does feel scary. So go scare yourself a little bit. Go feel a little bit of that, ooh, like those little butterflies floating up. In whatever vein you're kind of feeling that lackluster, blah, 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 blah. How can we bring back up, rise up that passion? And even if passion isn't resonating with you as a word in which you feel or seek out to feel, just more in line with kind of the vision that you have for yourself. What do you want to feel? Sometimes people will respond back to me and say, this is exactly, I needed to hear that in this moment, in this season. And nothing is better than that. And I know when I bring something to the mic, even if it's kind of talking about maybe a topic that we've touched on in some way, shape, or form already, or it's, kind of a fresh perspective on something, I know that it's meant for somebody out there, and also myself included. Right? These are things that, I am always kind of moving and navigating through alongside with you. And I think it's a beautiful thing. So go scare yourself. I'm going to do the same. I'm actually in a season right now of doing that. I've put myself out there in quite a few different ways in the last few weeks as of when I'm recording this. And who knows by the time this is live and you're actually seeing it, where those things are going to take me, because I've sent scary voice notes to people pitching like an idea or a thought. And I've, stepped into different just things that are kind of making me feel like, oh, what does the other side of this look like? But my passions brought me there. Now I've communicated that to the world, communicating that to the people who could be part of it with me. So join along with me. Come see what that feels like. I want to hear what you're doing. I want to hear where you're feeling lackluster, what you want to see on the other side of it, and how you want to feel within it. And I'm here to cheer you on. I'm here to be your hype girl, as I always am, to say, hey, you've got this. And let's do this together. Let's feel that fire burning back, bring that passion together with passion, let it explode in the best way possible, like a beautiful firework. It's going to be good. So let's do this together. I can't wait to hear from you and see where all of this takes you. Have fun on this ride, my friends.